We see kids at school who don't have to deal with caregiving and they're shaking their leg all day long because they're anxious. And then our students on top of that are thinking, what's mom doing right now? Is mom safe right now? But you ever, like, you leave the house and you're like, did I shut the oven off? Or did I shut my flat iron off? And it's like having that in the back of your mind all day, but it's a loved one that you're thinking about. A lot of them are trying to figure out what's next for them, and it's really difficult in terms of finances and having the money to afford things. So a lot of them work. They don't have access to as many resources as people who have a lot of money, because a lot of resources are very costly, and they do end up with a big burden financially.
It's probably due to the stressors of the caregiving responsibilities that they have. They lose out on sleep and they lose out on social time. They don't really get that time to be out or to be a kid or to be a young adult because, they have to spend a lot of time at home. Oftentimes, because of those things, it definitely leads to negative emotions or feelings of sadness.
Really important not to bottle up and just like let it happen, because otherwise it explodes. And I talk to kids about this all the time, and what I find is that a lot of them don't realize that they're necessarily struggling with their mental health, and then they sit with me and we start talking and they're like, oh, she's right, like I'm not feeling necessarily normal things.
I would go to my mom at 3 o'clock in the morning. She would sit there and talk to me and say, you know what? You're right to have all of these emotions. Your feelings are valid. You are dealing with something that kids normally your age don't have to deal with.
It's definitely important to have a support system, whether it be, friends that you can talk to about what's going on, or, other family members.
Having that support system is really important because you can rely on other people, making sure that you have time to take a break and just take a moment to yourself.
There's programs through Medicaid and whatnot that provide, compensation for the adult caregivers, but, our focus too is on the youth caregivers. What about them? There needs to be more funding where they're compensated better, more recognition for youth caregivers, as well, more funding for support resources. It just needs to start with awareness, because if you don't know something, you're just not going to do anything about it.
I think that there's a huge stigma that no one talks about when you say, oh no, I have to go take care of my mom. You shouldn't have to explain why you weren't able to get your homework done or why you need extra food stamps, like just stuff like that. Let there be less shame because there shouldn't be any.